Good morning guys, and welcome back to another video. So today is going to be a day in the life episode, and just before we get into it, I want to say a huge thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video. Squarespace is where I built my very own website, 7mlctraining.com, and from websites to analytics to marketing tools, they're the all-in-one place to grow your online presence and manage your business. But today I'm going to take you along my daily routine, because at the moment I'm preparing to get back into a more consistent playing environment, which hasn't been possible for the past couple of years. I've had a lot of work opportunities that have required travel all around the world. Very grateful for those experiences, but I can't deny that I've missed being in a team. Football is my passion. Still feel like I have life in the legs. So I'm excited to be back with Flower City Union. I was helping them out on a part-time basis last year, specifically working with their attacking players. Now I'm going to be doing some similar work, but also at some points perhaps jumping on the pitch if my body can meet those demands. I'm feeling fit, but of course the difference between kicking a ball around every day and being match fit is very different. So the goal for me over the next few weeks, we've got about a month until the start of the season, about a week until the start of pre-season. So my goal is to equip my body with what it needs to perform at high level football again. So working very closely with Oxidate Performance, who you guys met a few weeks ago in Melbourne, Australia, working with Coach Nav, who's a speed expert, and he's going to be helping me devise a gym program that's going to not only fix some of the imbalances that we found in the body, which is really important. If you have one side of the body that's dominant, which is natural for a lot of people, you won't necessarily feel it on a day-to-day basis, but if you're playing a high-intensity sport over the course of a season, if you don't fix those imbalances, one side is going to overcompensate for the weakness, and that's how you can sustain muscle injuries. So we're trying to avoid that, trying to get my body as equal as possible on both sides, nice and strong, and as quick as possible as well. So really looking forward to going through this program. I've done a couple of weeks of it already. It's been absolutely game-changing for my performance already, so looking forward to getting deeper into that and sharing the results with you guys. So we're at the pitch right now. I'm going to be getting out there and measuring my top speed using a GPS tracking device, and then we're going to keep that metric, and then every couple of weeks measure it again, and hopefully we'll see some progress. And I'll share all the workouts with you that I'm going to be doing to increase my speed, and also sharing a lot of other training advice, how I'm recovering, bit of nutrition, and everything that goes into becoming the most holistic footballer I can. But we need to get out to the pitch and measure my top speed. So let's go. So today's session is going to be really simple. Just going to get warmed up, activated, make sure everything's firing at full capacity. And then we're going to go through some top speed sprints over 30 to 40 meters. We're just going to do 3, and I'm going to take my best score and use that as my baseline for top speed. Something I learned from my conversation with Nav is that if you're not reaching at least 95% of your top speed every 5 to 7 days, your top speed will actually start to decrease. So these sprint actions prepare the tissues, fire up the body, so you can reach your top speed in a match. So you need to make sure, even when you're in off season and you're not necessarily in a match scenario a lot where you're going to be sprinting, you need to come out to the pitch and get some top speed sprints on a weekly basis. So not only is it going to be a good workout in itself, but we're going to use that as a measurement to see how much we can progress our speed using the workout program that I'm going to be doing over the next few weeks. So we'll take a score today, then every couple of weeks I'm going to repeat the same test, and hopefully we'll see some progress in my speed score. So I'm going to get my boots on and get warmed up. we go. Max speed. So this is in kilometers per hour. I reached 34.34 kilometers per hour. So pretty happy with that for a first run out, to be fair. But of course, there's always room for improvement. So good session, happy with that. Love having a metric now to build upon, and hopefully we'll see some increase in my speed throughout this program. But I'm gonna get home, get some food, then we're gonna get off to the gym and actually start building upon the speed. So let's go. Alright guys, so at the gym, about to get into my workout, which was tailor-made to my specific needs by Coach Nav. We're going to be working together very closely over the next few months. He's helping me equip myself during this pre-season phase. He's going to help me during pre-season and then also during season. So you're going to see how we structure these types of workouts so we're not putting too much load on the body and increasing fatigue and also increasing the risk of injury. So the goal of these workouts is not only to increase our strength, so the body's ability to deal with high load, because when you're changing direction and sprinting, you're putting multiple times your body weight through those muscles. So if they're not strong, that's how you get muscle tears. And we're also going to be increasing our explosivity, so the ability to be very springy and cover distance quickly, push the ground away and increase each stride length. If you imagine being able to push that ground away, the stronger and more explosive that action is, you're going to cover more ground, which in effect is going to make you faster. So I'm going to give you an example of a workout today. We're focusing on lower body. We're also going to have upper body sessions throughout the season, so I'll share those with you as well. I've been doing about 3 weeks worth of this program and already seeing a huge plus to my performance. So I can only imagine how I'm going to be feeling once the season comes around. So going to get warmed up, activated, and then we'll get into the workout. So let's go. So I'm going to take you through this entire workout. We started with a warm-up. I just went for 5 minutes on the static bike. If this was my first activity of the day, I'd make it a 10-minute ride. But since we're already pretty warm from the pitch session, we're essentially re-warming at this point. So 5 minutes on the bike at a moderate pace, and that's enough to get the blood flowing around the legs, equipping it with some fresh oxygen so that we're ready to get into some more dynamic movements. Then I'm just activating the quadriceps here with this band exercise. So I'm just wrapping them around the back of my knee, and then I'm extending out, holding at the top, really flexing those quadriceps to help activate them. We're going to get a lot of load on the quads and hamstrings today, so it's really important that we activate them so they can deal with those demands. So I'm just doing 10 repetitions here, and then continuing on with my band work, just doing some TKEs. So we're just extending the knee backwards. Very similar exercise, but again, just want to make sure I'm activating as many of those muscle fibers in the quadriceps as possible. The more fibers you can recruit, the stronger they're going to be, and you're going to get more benefits from the session themselves. And then getting into more activation work by using the wall. So getting into a wall sit position, so knees are bent 90 degrees. Then as you can see, going up onto my toes. This helps stiffen up the ankles, which is really important if you want to achieve max speed. If your ankles are collapsing, you're going to be losing a lot of power. So simple exercises like this help to stiffen up those ankles and also activate the patella tendons. And then I'm just doing some tib raises. So all I'm doing is pulling my toes as far as they can go towards me, squeezing for a moment at the top, and then releasing. This is going to help you recruit fibers below the knees so your knee joint itself isn't taking the full force of impact. Then after that, we went up and got onto the sled. The sled is a great exercise, not only for building strength, but great to do at the start of your sessions. You get a lot of blood flow around the knee joints with this movement. So we've got about 45 pounds on each side of the sled, and I'm just pushing it forwards and backwards. Recruit so many muscle fibers in the quads and hamstrings. You'll see from a side angle in a moment, we're always putting the knee over the toes with this exercise, both forwards and backwards. And you'll also notice by the angle I'm pushing the sled, it's very similar to an acceleration position. So if you can get stronger in this position, when you then go out on the pitch and accelerate, you're going to be able to produce more force, as you can see here. Really having to lean forward, drive those knees, and then push that ground away. Then on the backwards phase, we're getting those knees all the way over those toes, and that's going to strengthen up the entire thigh at this point, recruiting all of those muscle fibers, which is not only going to help you produce more force when you're out on the pitch, but also prepare you for a gym session to be able to move more weight. Then when we got back in the gym, I went into some simple plyos, so some pogo hops here, 5 low and then 5 high, and then we're alternating using this 12-inch box. So as you can see, just trying to minimize the time between my landing and the way I explode back up. If you can minimize that time, it's going to help you produce more force quickly, which translates really well into your top speed sprinting. The more time you spend on the ground with each step, you're just going to waste force and slow down your speed. So you want to hit the ground quickly, produce force, and then push it away immediately. And then I'm going into some single leg lateral forwards pogo hops. So we're loading up each leg individually because as a footballer, you're rarely spending time on both legs at the same time. Typically, you're going to be pushing off one leg, turning direction with one leg, so it's important to have an equal amount of strength and explosivity between each of your legs. If there's those imbalances, if one leg is stronger than the other, over time, that stronger side of the body is going to have to compensate for the weaker side, and that's how you get muscle tears, imbalances, weakness, and overall just a detriment to your performance. Then after doing 3 rounds on each leg, I went into some goblet squats. We're just holding at the bottom here, trying to open up those hips and groins. These are particularly tight areas for footballers. We're putting a lot of stress through this part of the body, so it's important to open them up. And the weight is going to allow you to get a deeper stretch. And you'll notice after doing a couple of rounds of 10 to 15 seconds or so, your hips and groins are going to feel a lot looser, more activated. Then I went into some hip flexor raises. So I'm just using the kettlebell. It's about a 25-pound kettlebell. And we're just raising the knee 90 degrees. Your hip flexors are really important for producing force. They contribute to your top speed as well as your acceleration. And if these areas are weak, you're going to overload the hamstrings. So making sure we get those hips nice and strong. And then we're going into our first weighted plyo here. So just 15 pounds on each side of the barbell. We're seated to begin with, and then we're exploding up, cushioning the drop as well. So not only we're working on pushing force away, but the ability to absorb force. So this is going to help you with your deceleration, strengthen up those muscles around the knees so the knees themselves aren't taking the brunt of the force. We just went through 4 repetitions for 3 sets. We're resting for about 45 seconds to a minute between each. But the goal here is to do low repetitions, but max force. You'll see later on in the session, we do increase the weight. We're going through our compound exercises, but for our plyometric exercises, we want to reduce the weight and increase the power. Then I'm just going through some bounds here. So again, the goal is to minimize the time between the landing and then the push off. So there's always a bounce between each, remaining on my toes, trying not to let those heels touch the ground. This is also going to help increase our ankle stiffness and the ability to absorb and generate force quickly, which is important for speed. So you'll notice the difference between a traditional weight training session and a footballer specific weight training session is that we always combine plyos with our weight work. So we're not just pushing force slowly, we're not trying to increase the weight as much as possible and just build strength, but we're also trying to be as springy and explosive with our actions as possible. So we always combine our heavy compound work with plyometrics. This is going to help strengthen the body, but also allow us to produce force quickly. Getting into our first compound exercise here, we're doing the barbell squat. I'm just raising the heels a little by putting them on a plate that's on the ground. And for this first round, I was lifting 135 pounds for 5 repetitions. For the second round, I increased the weight by 10 pounds on each side, so we're up to 155 pounds for 4 repetitions. And then in the final round, we increased by 5 pounds on each side. So I got up to 165 pounds for 3 repetitions in the final set. And my goal by the start of the season is to be able to lift my entire body weight. So I'm 180 pounds, so I've still got about 15 pounds to go. The goal is to eventually get to a point where I can lift 5 repetitions of my full body weight. So that's my goal before the start of the season, because when you're sprinting, changing direction, you're actually putting multiple times your body weight through your muscles, through your joints. So these types of exercises allow you to equip your body to meet those demands. And then we're including some core work here, so working on some dead bugs. We're just holding the band under tension. This is going to engage the core, and then we're lowering each leg independently. So this is going to help activate the core. Really important to involve core work in your strength training programs. The core is the center of your strength. That's going to help you with your balance, your stability, and also help you produce more power. So even though a lot of the compound exercises engage the core as well, it's really good to isolate the core with a few supplemental exercises. So here's an example of a really good exercise to engage that entire core. And then we get into some Romanian deadlifts. So this is another compound exercise, really loads up the hamstrings. We're focusing on keeping the legs straight, and then we're exploding upwards. So it's a very hamstring dominant exercise. It's going to help you produce force. So when you're getting up to top speed, you're pushing that ground away. It really activates those hamstrings. So if you do exercises like this, it's going to help you produce more force through that area of the body. It also really helps you engage the glutes. As you can see, when I get to the top, I thrust those hips forwards so that I'm also getting some good glute activation. It's really important as a footballer that you activate those glutes. If you're not activating them, your leg muscles are going to be taking all of the force, and that's a quick way to get hamstring and quad injuries. So make sure you're not neglecting the glutes. So just like we did with the squats, we're increasing the weight with each round. We remained with 5 repetitions for each set, and then we did 3 rounds in total. And again, my goal is to get up to a point where I can lift my entire body weight. So by the start of the season, I want to be lifting 180 pounds on the Romanian deadlift. Then I just got a couple of dumbbells. I think they were 35 pounds, and we're just driving the calves upwards. So through the ball of the foot, we're raising that heel and putting all of the tension on those calves. Another part of the body that is easy to pull as a footballer, especially if you're very high intensity, sprinting a lot, you're putting a lot of stress through those calves. So I went through 2 rounds of those. And for this final exercise here, this final plyo, we're producing force laterally. So I've got the weighted ball, which is 20 pounds. We shuffle to the side, load up that outside leg, and then we're pushing back in the opposite direction. So this type of exercise is really going to help you change direction quickly and produce force. I'm driving that opposite knee. This is one I learned in South Korea working with Pluko. If you want to see that workout, I'll leave a link to it on the screen right now. But I've really found this exercise to be helpful. It takes a little while to get the technique correct, but once you get it, you can really feel it activating the hamstrings, quads, hip flexors, and glutes. A fantastic exercise for increasing your explosive capacity. Then the final exercise was another core activation, this time really focusing on getting those obliques involved. So I've just got a 25-pound plate. We're going from a low angled position, driving and rotating to the opposite side. So important to activate those obliques. As a footballer, when you're striking the ball and changing direction, you are doing a lot of rotational work. So if those areas of the body are weak, you're going to lose force and you can leave your body susceptible to injury. And that was the end of the workout. Alright guys, so been back from the gym for a few hours now, just about to get into some recovery. So I'll be using the foam roller as well as the massage gun for any particularly sore areas, probably the hamstrings. They certainly took a lot of stress today, but all you really need is a foam roller. Very inexpensive piece of equipment, I spent less than $20 on this over 10 years ago now. Definitely worth the investment. If you're not recovering adequately afterwards, you're actually leaving a lot of performance on the table. So when I'm doing my stretches, foam rolling, using the massage gun, I'm increasing the blood flow to get nutrition back into those working muscles, repairing them so they grow back stronger. Certainly treat your recovery just as important as you treat your on-pitch training, because the two go hand in hand if you really want to elevate your all-round performance. So that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope you're looking forward to this series becoming a bit more regular here on the channel as I document different phases of the season. Just before I go, I want to say another huge thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video. Squarespace is where I built my very own website, www.7mlctraining.com. It's become the central hub of my entire brand and has allowed me to take 7MLC training to the next level. It's where I post all of my blog posts, podcasts, and my 7-day training programs. And if you're interested in any of those, I'm going to post links to them in the description box down below. But if you've ever considered building a website and you don't know where to start, check out Squarespace. And if you use the link in my description, www.squarespace.com/7mlc, you can get 10% off your first website. But I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure you smash the like button, hit that subscribe button for weekly training videos, and I'll see you guys in my next video.